week out. Great knowledge, great banter, and I'm sure that you're all doing really, really well. Kenneth Kerrigan, by the way, he's a Leeds fan. He thinks they'll get 2 draws. No. Okay,
Well, they've only got one game left.
Oh, have they? They're not playing midweek?
No.
I thought there was like 3 games tonight, and I thought they were involved.
No, just Burnley and Everton have got 2 games. Leeds have got 1.
Excellent. Brentford. So Leeds fan, I can see 2 draws. Oh, sorry. My mistake, Kenneth Kerrigan. You were saying as a Leeds fan, I can see 2 draws between the bottom 2 games tonight. Okay, I thought you were tripping then. Okay, anyway, we're off to West London. It's Brentford versus Leeds, and Brentford are massive +135. Leeds fighting for their life at +180, but will they think that a point would be good enough? The total is over 3, with over 3 being at +115. The draw is at +275. Brentford to score twice, Mark O'Hare, at -105. And by the way, we opened this show in August by saying we think Brentford could be the new Leeds. I think we can give ourselves a pat on the back.
Yeah, definitely. Fantastic season for them, and I think there's still quite a lot for them to play for, really. And I think this has got the makings of a really quite entertaining game from a neutral perspective. Clearly, Leeds are going to have to go there and either try and match or better Burnley's result, depending on what happens on Thursday night. So their approach will be, this is a must-win, and I think we'll see a proactive front foot Leeds performance. We have covered them quite extensively over the past few weeks, quite often due to the sort of negative issues surrounding the side of injuries and suspensions, which has left them very short on playing personnel. Did grab that late equaliser, probably against the run of play against Brighton last week, but that may have given them the lift that's required, really, to go to this final game and put on a performance. And for all the negativity we have had about Leeds, particularly when they played the better teams in the Premier League this season, it's worth pointing out they have only lost 5 games from 23 when they've played teams in 8th and below. And that kind of brings on the narrative that's been flying around with Leeds since they returned to the Premier League, that they're just not good enough to compete in their sort of style against the elite, but they are very competitive against the rest. And away from Ellen Road, 3 defeats when travelling to teams outside of the top 6 as well. Just shows that they're accustomed to picking up points, not necessarily always victories, but again, being competitive away against the lesser lights. And look, this is a tricky proposition, of course it is, and that Brentford price is reasonably appealing, as are Brentford to cover the over 1.5 goals hurdle as well, the way in which they've been performing, particularly since sort of the winter time. But I think in this occasion, I prefer to go down the goals route. Stinch has talked about it for a few weeks now, about May being the month for goals. That's not just in the Premier League, it tends to be a trend that fits most leagues across Europe as well. Brentford are coming into this without major pressure, but still motivation to try and finish in the top half, which would be a huge achievement for a club of their stature. And then you've got Leeds, who are in desperation phase, really. And, I just think this could be quite frenetic and quite an open encounter. And for that reason, I think goals is the way to play it. You could back the Brentford over 1.5 goals at -105. I personally taken the over 2.5 goals and BTTS option at a slightly shorter price, because I'm just bearing in mind that this is Leeds. It's win or bust, really, probably for them. And I think if you look at their playing personnel, they're looking to try and get Patrick Bamford fit and on the field this weekend. Rafinha is available, Rodrigo is available. So I think going forward, they should have tools to hurt Brentford. But Brentford have been in flying form since since March, really. Only Man City, Liverpool and Spurs have earned more points than Brentford in that period. They've scored twice and more in 7 of the last 10 as well. They've been pretty strong at home all season, but Leeds matches, as we know, do tend to be quite helter-skelter. I think 3.2 goals per game on average. 67% of their away days have featured both teams scoring as well. So, yeah, I'd rather just sort of sit back and not have to really bother too much about siding with either team and just support goals and lots of them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Brentford to score twice at -105. Ibrahim says in the chat that Brentford has 0 motivation, draw double chance for lead. Maybe you just got an S. And by the way, I don't know who, somebody's obviously just putting up the chat along the bottom. I'm not interested in people's opinions. I thought that chat along the bottom was for questions. And anyway, I haven't got my magnifying glass, so I can't see that tiny little writing. Sort yourself out, whoever's doing that, please, because that's not what we agreed. Stinch. Both teams to score and over is at -110. Leeds to score twice is massive at +145. I can listen, Brentford. It's going to be a party. You just wind yourself back 8 months ago. Brentford were here for a party for 8 months. Now they've just had an extension and been told that their license is going to be extended and they can come to the Premier League again next year.
Yep, first season in their brand new stadium as well. So absolutely, I think you're absolutely right. Party time. They're going to have lots and lots of fun, I think, on Sunday. I don't think they'll be demotivated. I think similar to Newcastle, for example, I think they're on a good run and they're just happy to keep that momentum flowing, really. And also, one of the reasons they are doing so well is Christian Eriksen. Since he's arrived at the club, it's been no coincidence that they've had an upturn in form. Before his arrival, they were only averaging 1.2 expected goals for per game. Now that's up above 2. He's heavily involved in everything good they're doing going forward. Key passes, expected assists, etc. They're averaging at least 2 goals across the 9 games that he's started. And his contract is due to expire at the end of the season, so they'll want to keep him. So they'll want to do everything to convince him to stay. So yeah, and there's a lot of factors in terms of rivalries, player-wise. Pontus Jansson, ex-Leeds centre-back, he was discarded by Bielsa, told he wasn't good enough. He's now playing for Brentford. Leeds very vulnerable from set pieces. Every chance that he could be a factor at these set pieces. So yeah, I don't think Brentford are going to be on the beach, and I do really like the over 1.5 Brentford goals at I think it's plus 105.
Yeah.
I think if you want to side with Brentford, I think that's the better way to go. Or Brentford draw no bet. But at the end of the day, because Leeds are more desperate for the points, if Brentford have scored twice, there is a train of thought that perhaps they won't continue to push for more goals, whereas Leeds will be absolutely desperate. So yeah, I do think betting Brentford goals is the better way to go, considering the fact that Leeds have conceded the second most goals in the league. 78 they've conceded. That's absolutely horrendous. Away from home, it's 40 in 18 games. That's over 2 a match. The reverse fixture finished 2-2. So I think the same as Mark. I think this is just going to be end-to-end, very basketball-y. So I think the safer bet, given the goal lines at 3, is to back the over 2.5 and both teams to score at minus 110.
Jack Simpson says both teams to score an over 3.5 at plus 170. You could see this being 2-2, 3-2. Leeds got to keep going for 95 minutes.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. The only reason I can't trust Leeds if you wanted to bet on them, not that I do at the odds, but said it all season, the lack of a natural goal scorer, the big miss in Bamford. And yeah, so I don't think the goals are going to come easy, which I think will give Brentford the chance on the counter-attack at the other end. So I just think, don't complicate it all, just try and back goals. And I think this is the most sensible way to go because I don't see either side keeping a clean sheet.
Excellent. Okay, well, let's have a little look at the official picks. Remember, Leeds definitely need something because Burnley play midweek and then it's Burnley hosting, I think, Newcastle on at the weekend as well. But over 2.5 goals and both teams score at minus 110. I think everyone's agreeing. I don't think we're going to see clean sheets here. So just steer clear of the money line and hope that Leeds put their best foot forward. Both teams to score 2 goals. A minimum of 2 goals is minus 105 for the home side and plus 145 for the away side.